Hey, welcome to the 19 Holdings YouTube channel, Mastering Commercial Real Estate. My name's Danny. I'm one of the founders of 19 Holdings along with Corey Mortensen. And this channel is a place where we're going to explore the strategies that drive success in the world of real estate. In today's video, we'll delve into the concept of forced appreciation and how apartment investors can add a staggering $3 million in value to a 200-unit property. So let's get started. First and foremost, we need to define appreciation, which in our case today can be defined as an increase in the value of an asset over time. Now, there are two types of appreciation. Organic appreciation, sometimes referred to as natural appreciation, and then there's forced appreciation, which will be the main topic of our video today. Organic appreciation, simply put, is the rise in a property's value over time due to market conditions outside of one's control. So as real estate investors, we love the concept of organic appreciation, the idea of buying a property, holding on to it for years, and then selling it at a higher price than what we bought it for. It sounds attractive, and it is. However, since we cannot control market conditions, buying with the hope of our property appreciating naturally is not a viable investment strategy in the long run. Likewise, above market returns typically occur when both types of appreciation are at play. So let's take a look at why forced appreciation is so valuable in commercial real estate. So forced appreciation occurs when the net operating income is increased by either increasing the revenue, decreasing the expenses, or a mixture of both. Forced appreciation typically occurs by adding value to the apartment through renovations and/or operational improvements. So before we get into our example, we have two formulas we need to be familiar with before diving in. And so the first is how we calculate a property's value in commercial real estate. And the value formula is as follows. Value equals the property's net operating income, or NOI, divided by the capitalization rate, or cap rate. If you don't already know your market's cap rate, you can ask your broker, an appraiser, or some industry professional in your market should be able to provide you with this metric. That being said, the capitalization rate can also be backed into if you have the net operating income and the value or purchase price of your property. And so the calculation for your cap rate is as follows. Cap rate equals your net operating income, NOI, divided by the property's value. And value in this case is interchangeable with purchase price. And finally, we have two resources for you. We have our 19 Holdings glossary. This is a bank of commercial real estate terms. So if anything we talk about today is unfamiliar, this is a great place to go and get well acquainted with some of these concepts. And last but not least, we have our 19 Holdings, The Power of Forced Appreciation blog post. This blog post reviews the exact same example that we are in today's video. So if you enjoy reading more than watching videos, this resource is for you. So let's jump into our property at the time of purchase. So let's assume you're evaluating a fully occupied 200-unit apartment complex, but with the opportunity to add value. So for example, it has below market rents, the exteriors are outdated, the interiors are also outdated, and there's some deferred maintenance. You pay $10 million to purchase the property and save $1.5 million for renovations. The in-place or current rents are at $500 a month per unit. And to keep things simple, let's assume there's no other income produced by the property. The total revenue is $1.2 million. This can be calculated by taking your unit count, multiplying that by the monthly rent, and multiplying this by 12 months to arrive at your annualized total revenue amount of $1.2 million. In addition, let's assume the operating expenses are 50% of the revenue, which is $600,000. So half of 1.2 million is 600,000. And currently, our property generates a net operating income of 600,000. Again, this can be calculated by taking your total revenue and subtracting out your total amount of operating expenses, which leaves you with 600,000. And now that we have our NOI and we have our purchase price or the value of the property, we can now calculate the going in cap rate, which is 6%. And again, the formula is here below. So now let's go plug this in to our example tab. And just a quick note, I have linked this exact same spreadsheet in the caption. So if you have not already downloaded it and you'd like to follow along or check out some examples on your own, this is a great resource for you. So in column E, let's start plugging in our property information at the time of purchase. So our purchase price, we bought the property for $10 million. And we have 200 units at our apartment complex. Now the monthly rent we're currently achieving is $500 a month for each unit. And we know that there are 12 months in a year. And now we have enough information to calculate our total revenue. And if we remember from earlier, we can calculate our total revenue by taking our unit count, multiplying it by our monthly rent, and multiplying this by the total amount of months in a year to get our annualized total revenue amount of our 1.2 million. Now moving on, we remember that our expense ratio is at 50%. So that'll be the input for our expense ratio, 50%. And to calculate our operating expenses, we need to take our total revenue and apply that 50% expense ratio to understand what our total operating expenses are for the year, which in this case is $600,000. And almost done here, but now we have the information to calculate our net operating income. And to calculate this, we need to take our total revenue and subtract all of our operating expenses to arrive at $600,000 in net operating income. Finally, we can calculate the cap rate. If we remember before, it is our net operating income in our purchase price or value that we need to calculate our cap rate. So let's go ahead and plug in this formula. Net operating income divided by our purchase price. And this should give us that 6% cap rate we saw earlier. Awesome. So this is our property at the time of purchase. We bought it for $10 million. Every year we're earning 1.2 million in revenue. We're operating at a 50% expense ratio. And so our operating expenses are at $600,000. Our net operating income is also at $600,000. And then we have a 6% cap rate. Also, just to note, the reasons that some inputs are blue and other line items are white. Blue is going to be anytime it is an input. If it is showing up in white fonts, it is a formula. So that is the reason why it is formatted this way, in case you had any questions on that. Let's move on to look at our renovation plan. So during the next 12 to 24 months, you complete a series of extensive renovations, including the following. So for the interior, you'll add granite countertops, replace outdated cabinetry, add stainless steel appliances, replace carpets with wood flooring, and add a fresh coat of paint to the interior walls. Similarly, for the exterior, you'll add a fresh coat of paint to the exterior walls, upgrade the landscaping, and you'll add new signage and branding just to update the curb appeal and make your apartment complex more attractive and exciting for your tenants. Now, as you finish the renovations, you begin leasing each unit at the current market rent of $650 per month for each unit. And if we remember earlier, our rents were under market, so we're just marking our rents to market. In this case, it's a $150 rent premium that we'll achieve after we've implemented these renovations. So the new revenue for your apartment is 1.56 million. Again, the calculation is your unit count multiplied by the monthly rent, multiplied by 12 months in a year to arrive at 1.56 million in your annualized revenue amount. Assuming your operating expenses remain at 50% of the total revenue, you can calculate the property's net operating income, which is now $780,000. Now, if we assume the cap rate remains at that 6%, the new value of your apartment complex after renovations is $13 million or a $3 million increase in value in just 24 months. So let's go see how the numbers come into play. All right, so now we're in column H in our after renovations world. Our unit count doesn't change. We didn't add or subtract units. This is white because it is a formula tying to our before renovation world because we didn't change that. What we did change was our monthly rent. So it is no longer $500 a month for each unit. We're now charging tenants $650, which is our market rent. And so quickly we see that our revenue went from 1.2 million to $1.56 million in revenue. Our expense ratio remains the same. So our operating expenses increased. However, the most notable or important increase here is the increase in our net operating income. Here is why. If we remember back in the definitions and formulas tab, we talked about the value formula and how we calculate value in commercial real estate. And the formula is as follows. Value is calculated by taking the property's net operating income and dividing it by the capitalization rate or the cap rate. So in this case, the cap rate is still 6%. It didn't change, but we've increased our net operating income. And so therefore, our value should increase. So let's see what our value looks like in a post-renovation world. So again, the formula is net operating income divided by your 6% cap rate, which gives us a value today of $13 million or $3 million increase in value in just 2 years. So I hope y'all found this video helpful. Again, I did link this spreadsheet and there is a completed example tab at the end. This is locked, so you can't edit it. But if you play around in the example tab and put in these same inputs, you should be able to reconcile to what I have here on the completed example tab. But altogether, I hope you all found this helpful. Please, if you enjoyed it, let us know, like, subscribe, comment with any questions, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much.